What's good, party people? This is Voodoo in the Woods. I'm According to Woods, and this former U of MMA champion, Pius Ina Lobo, better known as Voodoo Maximus. And holy hell, have we had? I mean, I can't think of a weekend where we have so much combat sports to shake our tail feather with, or make a stick with. There you go, like an old man, like freaking Clint Eastwood on that weird ass Gran Torino movie. But in events, there's a lot of it. We've obviously had the prior UFC, which I think I heard the comparison of Gamebred Jorge Masvidal and Colby Covington is essentially the fight that we would have seen out of Masvidal if Askren hadn't taken that fucking flying knee. Like that's essentially
Right.
it's
Right.
just kind of a lot of grapple, a lot of wrestle fucking, which if I, I'm not opposed to that stuff. I just didn't like either man. Like I didn't. I'm good on either one of them. Like if they, I want to believe. Well, this is just my humble opinion. Colby Covington and Jorge Masvidal have gotten to the prestige, at least in my book, of Wonderboy Thompson and Tyron Woodley. Like I never want to see them fight again. But
Unfortunately, Kobe Covington still has that equalizer, that gas tank. As long as he has that and he has that up to par wrestling, people are gonna have a problem. They're gonna have a problem because he's gonna drive him into deep waters and he's gonna drown him like he did Jorge. Jorge wanna take it out on the referee, talking about Herb Dean this and Herb Dean that. Man, don't talk about Herb Dean, man. You knew what you was getting yourself into. This is someone you've been training with for years and years and years. Y'all used to be best friends and all
yeah,
that, this and that, and you didn't come prepared. Don't point a finger at Herb Dean. That thumb is pointing right back at you while
yeah.
you're pointing at Herb Dean. You see that? You see that? He missed that part.
Well, and it was said from Masvidal himself that he had signed up the most lucrative contract in his career prior
Good
to
for
that
him.
fight. Yeah, because I mean that's that. What is that? The euphemism of uh, the cow. If you get the milk, why buy the fucking cow?
Hmm.
I think Masvidal is fucking milk the fuck out. Like
Yeah,
it's over.
yeah. Lucky him, man. Lucky him because it's downhill from now.
Yeah,
Downhill.
yeah.
Who else is he
It's
gonna fight? Who else is he gonna fight?
You can
Who else is he
fight
gonna fight
anyone.
that's
It's
gonna?
not going to be interesting.
Eh, it's not gonna sell like you know. I mean, how much did this card do? I'm sure it didn't do a million. You know,
Uh,
Masvidal thought he was some kind of a hot shot. You know, no, you ain't no hot shot. You know, when you fought Usman, I believe they broke a million, huh?
Yeah,
Broke a
because
million. That's
well,
because we
I mean,
wanted to see what was gonna happen. People were interested in seeing what was gonna happen.
well, it
People
depends
were
on which Usman. Like, if it's Fight Island, yeah, people were on that shit because
right.
oh, Masvidal was just coming off of the fucking knee to Askren,
Ascar,
right?
Askren,
Yeah,
Ascar.
and then they fucking flew his ass Miami. He was posting everything like, "Oh, I got to fucking stop in Italy for some pizza and all that shit." So like, I mean, he that was the fresh off of his BMF title win over Nate Diaz, right? Like so there
He
was
ain't no BMF. He
no,
clearly ain't no
he's
BMF.
not, he's not. But that's the thing, right? Like, I think Jim Ross used to say, right? And then the bell rang, right? You
Yes.
get
And then
everybody
he woke up.
right. Well, that's the thing. And then the bell rang. You can fucking have a flashy entrance, a nice little following behind you, and all that shit and whatever. And then the bell fucking rings. And if you're drizzling shit, look at all the shit Tyron Woodley fucking talked. And then the
Yeah.
bell rang.
Yeah. And
Wasn't great.
the thing is, there's nothing wrong with shit talk. You can talk shit. Just talk appropriate shit,
Yeah.
such that win
Yeah.
or lose, you still winning. But he's talking all this. He's gonna do this to Kobe Covington. He's gonna do that. And then I knew he wasn't gonna do none of that.
No.
None of that. I knew it. That's why I went with Colby Covington. It's
Yeah.
very simple. It's very simple, man. If you don't knock him out, he's gonna drag you into deep waters and he's gonna drown you. And so it was. He got drowned. Let's move on, man. That
Yeah.
dude is old news.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Absolutely.
Colby Covington, man. Straight up.
But
Hey, yeah, free Ken Velasquez.
yeah. Speaking of
Free Ken
in the
Velasquez.
news,
What's up,
100%.
Alex Ramirez?
Shout out to the good brother there. That's a fucking too sweet for you. No,
That's
but
right.
Cain Velasquez, this shit is wild because again, and it's weird how the news is covering it. They're saying it's uh a family member of Kane, a juvenile family member of Kane, when the people in the know are basically saying that it was actually Kane's 4-year-old daughter, and the perpetrator and the abuser, and I'm not sure if it was Kane's daughter allegedly or just other kids, but this person had done the act 100 times. So yeah, free Kane. Somebody, all the people like, oh, if they fuck with my kids, I'm gonna whoop their ass. I could whatever the fuck. Or I'm gonna shoot them or whatever. Not advocating violence, but I hope I hope myself will never be in that situation where he'd have to fucking decide if we got to do that shit or not. So, just saying.
That's bad business, man.
Yeah,
Bad business, especially a little child like that. You know,
yeah,
uh, what judge in their right mind would let a psychopath like that out of prison? I mean,
yeah, yeah.
who would let such a animal? He's no human anymore. If he's resorting to things like that, he's no human. How dare you? How dare you put Kane in jail and let this guy roam free? What the hell is wrong with you? Well, what kind of country do we live in where a sex offender is roaming free and a God fearing man is in prison? What the hell is going on here?
Well, okay, no, and all of that true. And Alex Ramirez kind of chiming in between us three. You think Mr. Velasquez is looking at serious time? And here's the thing, right? Because everybody wants to play lawyer, right? And
Mm-hmm.
uh, a shout out to George Ramosa of the Wrestling Chatter, and Steve Kaufman of all of the Conrad Thompson shows. But the difference between the degrees, right? First degree versus third degree or whatever, right? So I can't remember which, right? But I think first degree is just like, oh, them, you just going out and let's just say you went to sleep, right? What, like I'm gonna shoot this motherfucker, right? Um, then you basically wake up and shoot that motherfucker, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is that is a more serious charge versus you just like, oh, I see that motherfucker, bow, with
Mm-hmm.
no premeditated
Mm-hmm.
deal. And I can't remember
Mm-hmm.
which is one of the
Yeah,
first
I
or
believe
second.
the first degree is the worst one.
Right. So
Mm-hmm.
that's one thing about
It looks
you
like
know
that's what he's facing.
well, and that's where a lot of people with the George Floyd and different things like that, they're outraged or what have you, and myself included. Not the outrage, but like in terms of defining which is which. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I never fucking went to the bar. Didn't want to go to the bar. The only bar that I know is by Seamus and Cesaro.
Mm-hmm.
But with that all being said, it's just I just think it's not the greatest situation and whatever, and that person is still in town, right? The person
Yep.
who did this unspeakable act to
Yep.
what is believed to be Kane's daughter.
Yeah.
It fucking sucks that guy is out and free,
Mm-hmm.
and Kane is in there, and they said they denied his bail and everything like that. Well, it's more of the judge maybe thinking like, oh, this is a former UFC champion. He's probably got monies and whatever, that he might be a flight risk. He might not come back to court if we let him go.
Hey, GoFundMe also shut down his his uh his thing.
Yeah, and that's the other. They shut down the truckers, right? They shut the Canadian truckers that did the convoy, but then on the other side of the spectrum, they also shut down the legal representation of like Kyle Rittenhouse, and so like there's a lot of moving parts and everything like that. It just sucks in this particular instance, right? But there are still people selling like free cane shirts and everything with I mean, the approved channels are still, 100% of whatever the proceeds are happening going to Kane, and especially the ones that like Javier Mendez from AKA and the rest of the team at AKA are talking about. Uh, those would be some of the most reputable ones in my estimation. So check out their social media. But then also, all of those guys, the good brothers and good sisters that Cain Velasquez has in the community within American Kickboxing Academy, that if this guy and his dad are roaming free, maybe not good things are going to happen to them. And I don't want to speculate or anything like that, but fuck, man, it's just not a good situation. I would have rather none of it happen, none of it at all. But I also think that Kane would have rather that as well. I'm sure that the juvenile that this happened to would have rather this not happen at all. So
Mm.
it's not a fucking good story. And I don't know the fucking beats. Everything is rumor and innuendo. But yeah, fuck, dude. It's fucked. But if everything that I'm hearing is true, fucking free Kane all the way, man.
Yeah, the people can come together and rally behind him. If
Yeah.
if they all come together, they'll lighten the sentence for sure.
Yeah, no, 100%. So let's hope, just healing on the Velasquez family in one way or another, but a place that a former UFC heavyweight champion in Cain Velasquez called home and dominated in his time there is the UFC Octagon. And this
Yeah.
Saturday, fights will commence from probably a smaller octagon because it's at the UFC Performance Institute. But this is UFC Fight Night, Ankalaev versus Santos, the Hammer versus what are the other fucking guys that look like Abe Lincoln with abs and
Mhm,
shit? It's
mhm,
wild. But getting
mhm,
this the night started off, we have uh well, actually, there's going to be a whole bunch of them that unfortunately I didn't subscribe to the Voodoo Maximus School of Pronunciation. I know I
mhm,
should have. I've been
mhm.
bumping it. I thought I might get a discount, but unfortunately, a discount didn't come my way. But with that all being said, I definitely think we need the foreign name pronunciation classes by Voodoo for one easy payment of $9.99.99 for four easy payments of $4.99.99. Again, we're not
uh,
doing math here. We're teaching you how to pronounce like this guy because we're going to need every bit of it to pronounce the names of at least half of everyone on this fucking card. Starting off with the first one. So, Voodoo Maximus, with your superior intellect, take it away.
yeah, man. This one in the light heavyweight division, we have Tafan Unchuku going up against Azamat Murzakanov is 10-0. I don't like to go against perfection, so therefore, Azamat, most of his wins are by knockout. Tafan, he likes to do his thing as well. He's only got one loss in the UFC, so he lost to Jun Young Park, majority decision. So he's a beast himself. So I do see Azamat uh first testing out the striking zone. If the striking zone of Tafan is formidable, then we will see the Russian wrestling taken to the ground, smash him because better superior wrestling, and someone will get finished in this fight. And I'm not going against perfection, man. It is what it is.
Okay, I see exactly what you're saying. That is pretty reputable in Asmat. But you know what? I'm gonna go with Tafon. Because I feel fucking squirrely, and I think fucking Tafon, in his 6 wins, right? There's a
Yeah.
lot of there's some KOs, right? There's some
Yeah.
fucking actually
Yeah.
all of it, all of it. CFFC 73, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
fucking Shogun fights, AT McCowan, right? KO, William Knight. He fucking KO'd William Knight. William Knight
Go
is
to sleep.
scary as shit, and he did it at fucking CFFC 80.
Go to
Um,
sleep.
yeah, head kick by versus Al Montavo, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
Jamie Pickett, that's a unanimous decision, but that's still not bad, right?
Yeah.
Yes, he lost the majority decision to Jungwon Park, but
Mm-hmm.
he beat Slow Mike Rodriguez, and we know how bad fucking Slow Mike Rodriguez is, and he beat him
Yes.
by decision, showing that
Yeah.
he's not just a fucking knockout artist. Now,
Yes.
yes, Azamat is the name of the fucking the buddy in Borat one, but
Mm-hmm.
also, like you said, perfection. But you know what?
Yep.
We've seen crazy shit happen. We've seen tough ass Mongolians like we're like, this fucking Genghis Khan is blood and shit like that, and get fucking starts dead dick in the dirt.
Start.
You know,
Yep.
right? So I just fuck it, and I agree with everything you say, and especially if we come back on a follow up show
Yes.
and they're like, Osmat fucking won. I'd be like, yeah, exactly. But I just I just want to fucking roll the dice. So I'm gonna go Tafan second round KO.
Yeah. I'm with it. I'm with it.
Yeah.
I'm with it. So in this next matchup, it's gonna be quite an interesting one because the last time we saw Chris Montejo, he took an ass
That's
whooping
well they
from
say
Sugar Sean O'Malley. Remember
yes,
that?
yes, and
Oh
they
my
say that
God.
Ronnie Garvin, right? Former NWA World Heavyweight Champion was the hands of Stone, also
Mm,
Roberto Duran, right?
yeah,
But
yeah.
Mutino's fucking chin is made out of gosh damn granite. Holy shit. Holy fucking shit. But take it away, my friend.
Hey, wasn't that like a year ago, man? What year was that again?
Yeah, because
That
you,
was
you you gotta fucking shoot
oh,
fucking
yeah, yeah, yeah,
you, you gotta
yeah.
shoot
Seven
stem cells into your fucking brain to get some
July
sort of I don't know.
July 21st.
I'm just
Uh,
saying,
July
you need a
2000,
year.
2021 that was the fight, and then we got this Guido character, Canetti, Guido Canetti. He's on a 3-fight losing streak, Mr. Ninja.
Yeah.
I don't know. He lost to Marlon Vera. He lost to Dana, and
Yes.
Mana Martinez. Split decision. I can't bet on this fella. I can't. I mean, the toughness of Chris alone is enough for me to bank on him. So I'm just gonna go on a limb and say Chris Motinho wins this one by split decision.
I like it. I like it. Shout out to the good brother Joey the Bull, Hosa. We got some bull horns for you from the Gym Crashers, and catch his show on Instagram. Uh, you know, you fucking good shit. Good shit is Joey the
Yeah.
Bull.
What up,
Um,
champ?
yeah, man. Yeah, I'm gonna go with you as well. It looks like the ninja is doing the opposite of being a
He's
ninja.
on his way out, man. He's on his way out.
Ninja is supposed to be fucking stealthy, fucking using your environment around you to fucking whoop your ass, Death Stars and shit like that. But guess what? We remember him getting fucking his ass kicked. That is the emphasis of Ninja. We don't know the Ninja because the Ninja is a fucking shadow realm being, right? Right? The great Voodoo Maximus is now right. So with that all
Indeed,
being said,
he lurks in the shadows.
yes, but
He lurks in
but
the shadows and runs into punches and kicks.
yeah, you fucking getting knocked into the shadow realm. So just saying, it was nice to know you, and his gym name is Our Town MMA. So hopefully he can go back to his town in Buenos Aires, Argentina, and come home with a hero's welcome. And who knows? We might even see him at Eagle
Who
FC
knows?
because
Hey, who
that's a
knows? He might get a fight of the night type knockout, performance of the night type knockout, or submission. Who knows? But right at this moment, and in this moment in time, I don't see him doing anything spectacular at all. So it is what it
you were like, oh, at this moment in time, and I thought Whitney Houston. One
is.
moment in time. Anywho, well, one time too many, is a fight that I am actually really looking forward to. This is the 6-2 Cody Brundage. Cody Brundage, he has wins. I mean, he's a fucking Factory X guy, right? Mark
Mhm.
Montoya, training
Yes.
in the high altitudes of Colorado. All right,
Mhm.
but he's beaten Eric Lozano twice back to back, right?
Mhm.
But coming into the UFC, he has a tough fucking customer in that William Knight that we just talked about that was so fucking scary. Yeah,
Mhm.
William Knight, that is the thing that got everybody talking about William Knight. Uh, that was that, I mean, post his run in the regional promotions that William Knight had before this Dana White Contended Series appearance, and
Mhm.
it was
Mhm.
that shit went viral because,
Mhm.
but unfortunately, it was at the expense of one Cody Brundage, right? But
Mhm. Mhm.
rebounded from that at LFA 99. He goes back to the LFA, and does much like he did to Eric Lozano, where he fucking hits a arm triangle choke at LFA 99 in
Mhm.
39 seconds in the third round. Then gets called back up to the UFC and loses to Nick Maximov, via unanimous decision. Now, on the other
Mhm.
side of the docket, we have 11-3 Dalcha Langjiamian. I know the last part because that's hello in Fijian. So if I fucked up Bula, oh, there's going to be many fucking Tevoros or devils that are waiting to steal my soul. Yes, I said it. But Dalcha, the champion, is pretty fucking good, man. Obviously, he lost to Magomed Ankalaev, but what's Magomed Ankalaev up to? Oh, yeah, he's headlining this fucking card against Thiago Santos, right? So
Yep.
that's not a bad loss. Prior to that, he got a KO, scored a KO on the third round in 42 seconds to Dequan Townsend. Dequan Townsend is a tough customer himself. After the Ankalaev loss, loses to Marcus Perez. V beats Marcus Perez, excuse me, via
Mhm.
unanimous decision, but then loses to Mark Andre Barrialt, via unanimous decision. I'm going to Dalcha just because, hey, um, I think Cody Brundage might be on the skids. The fact that he didn't even get a short notice fight with the UFC right after his Dana White Contender Series. Now, yes, he did lose, but
Mhm.
we've seen people losses in Dana White's Contender Series that have gone on to get maybe a short notice fight or what have you. Now, nobody that
Yeah.
has gotten KO'd, at least from my memory. But with that all being said, I just feel like there's more stock in the skills of Dalcha at this
Mhm.
particular instance. If they put
Mhm.
Cody Brundage in there with somebody else, I think it would be a little bit more favorable. I think
Mhm.
this is a one-sided ass kicking, and I think
Mhm.
Dalcha, the champion, is going to prove exactly why he's a champion. But what say you, Vito?
Well, I'm with you in picking Dolce. He's got more experience. He is from the Congo. Can't go against people from the Congo. Their life has been so hard. Even the ones that are middle class and above, still a hard life, man. Coming from the Congo, there's something about that that's an advantage. Just that social advantage is there, and he's got a better record. He's got a better record. He's higher in the rankings. It only makes sense to pick him. Docha Logum La Longiambula. I'm going with him too.
Yeah, there you go. That's a unanimous pick right here at View in the
Off the
Woods.
back.
Yeah, right off the bat. So, with that being said, I think this one will actually be a stellar affair. We've got two champions that are essentially they just happen to be female, but these are some of the toughest in the flyweight division. And we've got
Yeah.
Sabina Mazo, 9-3 against Miranda Fear the Maverick. Now, the Colombian
Hmm.
queen Sabina Mazo has been on the wrong side of a couple losses: a unanimous decision loss to Alexis Davis, and then a rear naked choke loss most recently to Marina. Yeah, Mariah, I'm sorry, Mariah
Hmm.
Agapova, right? But
Hmm.
prior to that, she was on a 3-fight winning streak against none other than Shannon Dobson. You know how tough
Hmm.
Shannon Dobson is. JJ
Hmm.
Aldrich, also a
Hmm.
tough customer, and Justin Kish, who's going to be headlining Bellator Hawaii with Elimele McFarland, the former fucking Bellator world champion.
That's
And then you have
right.
right? So we know how
That's right.
Justin Kish and her toughness is, right? So with
Yep.
that being said, those are pretty fucking good wins, right? But Alexis Davis, also top class. So the fact that it went to a decision and she wasn't finished, that says something. But also that also shows how tough and how durable and how skilled that Myra Agapova was to finish Mazo off. Now, with that all
Hmm.
being said, on the other side, we got Miranda Maverick, who was a standout of Invicta when I started watching. When I really started watching Invicta, uh, I mean, I just hear TJ DeSantis, of course. Uh, what's his name? Joel Martinez, and obviously the legendary Bruce Ruffer. When they call her name, that's one thing. But and guess what? Joel Martinez actually called her name in Invicta, but all I hear is TJ DeSantis in my head, Miranda
Hmm.
Maverick. Like that's
Hmm.
all I've got in my head, right? So she will forever be, uh, an Invicta standout to me, and have that in my head. She's tough. She is so
Hmm.
tough, and yes, Mazo is, but I've got Miranda Maverick unanimous decision.
This is going to be a tough matchup because they're both coming from a two fight losing streak. So they're both going to come out and they're going to push. They're going to push hard. Records are similar: 9-3, 9-4. Maverick is higher in the rankings, possibly because she's faced more favorable opponents that put her higher in the ranking, and of course, she has to win when she faces these people. Sabrina Mazo, on the other hand, number 48 in the flyweight division, a lot lower. I believe this fight is put in place to help Maverick rebound and get back in the win column. And if this is where the company is going, I think I'm gonna go with them too, and go with you as well, Miranda Maverick. I don't know how she's gonna win, but I think she's gonna win. Even though she's given away a height advantage, I believe she'll figure something out. Dirty boxing of some sort, she has very good movement. So if Sabrina Mazo doesn't take it to the ground, Miranda Maverick has a very, very good chance of winning.
Yeah, what is that? Is that a 50-50 chance in winning in case Samoa Joe comes out and whatever at sacrifice?
Mm,
You
yeah.
know that promo. Um, yeah. Well, shout out to Scott Steiner. Hopefully, the Steiner brothers get put into the Hall of Fame is to give
I hope
Scott
so.
Steiner a fucking live mic in front of the WWE universe for the first time since what 2002 when he fucking faced Triple H. I'm just
Yeah.
saying that's worth the price of admission. But with that all being said, in the featherweight division, we have none other than the 19-4-1 Damon Jackson against the
Mhm.
Hawaiian 11-4. Actually, the Hawaiian. What the fuck is that? But Kamuela Kurt. Now, Kurt is on a 3-fight winning streak against Guilherme Santos at LFA 97, Daniel
Mhm.
Swain and he retired Daniel Swain. Uh, and that was at LFA 107, and then makes his UFC debut against Mr. Finland, I believe. Yep, Mr. Finland, Makwan Amirakwani, right?
Mhm.
So that Amirakwani win has got my fucking spidey senses kicking and tingling and shit like that. But he has a tough and experienced Damon Jackson. Damon Jackson, the Leech, as he calls himself, is a standout out of Fortis MMA, right? And
Mhm.
he's got some. He's up and down in terms of his uh his fight career, right?
Mhm.
Going
Mhm.
back to LFA
Agreed.
40, rear naked choke victory over Jeremy Spoon. Then Nate Jennerman KOs him in the second round, but then loses at the PFL tournament 2019 to Mavlid Kabulaev.
Right.
It, first round,
Right. Right.
flying jumping knee, right? But then he
Yeah.
goes back to LFA, beats Mario Chale with a rear naked choke, right?
Mhm.
And this
Mhm.
one stands out because Mirsad Bektik is who the Leech beats, and for
Mhm.
me, Mirsad Bektik is one half of one of the greatest fights that I've ever seen. It was him and Darren Elkins, where
Mhm.
fucking obviously Mirsad Bektik was having his way with Darren the Damage Elkins, and
Mhm.
Darren Elkins fucking found a way to gut it out and KO Mirsad in the third round. I mean, seconds left in the fight. So the fact that uh, he has a win over Bektik fucking has my spidey senses tingling. Also,
Yeah.
uh, losing to Ilya Taporia, but then beating the Boston Strong Charles Rosa via unanimous decision.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm not even going to be fucking whatever. Even though I think the Jawaiian is weird, a
Mhm.
name,
Mhm.
Kamala Kurt is still a fucking Polynesian. So for another
Mhm.
reason, what
Mhm.
did fucking um I want to say it was like Jesus Christ, what's the fucking guy's name? D. Ray Davis,
We
right?
love you, God. Jesus
No,
Christ.
oh no, I was gonna say no, like jeez, I think it was D. Ray Davis, where at the Shaq's Comedy Star Jam when Obama was getting elected and whatever. It was like, hey,
Oh, right, right, right. I
let's
remember that guy.
let's fucking vote one in and then see how it works and whatever. We've had a whole bunch of them fuck up of another uh, ethnic whatever. So let's see what this one does. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm going to the Hawaiian. Kumala Kurt is just Polynesian. Just say.
Damon Jackson, as you mentioned earlier, he's earned the right for a flip of a coin. He is number 30 in the rankings, 19 and 4. He's beaten some formidable opponents, and I can flip a coin here with you, man. Most definitely, I'll go Damon Jackson on this.
I like it. I like it. And speaking of things I like, the good sister Takia Powell says, "Hi guys, how are you? I am here and glad to have you." Good sister.
What up?
We're like fucking what's his face? Um Robin Thicke, right? Not
Yeah.
in the fucking weird ass blurred lines where he's slapping asses and getting sued by Marvin Gaye's family. No, not that, but we were lost with that or was what I'm gonna go with. So but speaking of going on, we have Javid Basharat, right? Who's a perfect 11-0, right?
hmm
He's the snow leopard.
Snow
Holy
leopard,
shit. Those
Afghanistan.
things are scary, right? Those things are scary. This is actually his official UFC debut because his first time in the octagon was against Oran Kalan, which sounds like a fucking war from Star Trek, right? He's a Klingon.
hmm
That's what Oran Klingon or whatever.
hmm
Sorry, Kalan family. I just
hmm
fucked up your name. But anywho, beats him via guillotine choke, right? But then he's he's been everywhere and he's beat everybody that those places had to offer, and that's what he feels like he's gonna go against Trevin Jones. But Trevin
Hmm.
Jones, 13-7, right? 5 star, 5 star, 5 star Trevin Jones is coming off of a loss actually against a guy that whose name I can't pronounce, but I'm gonna
Hmm.
go with Seti Yukub Cocker.
Said Yakub.
Yeah,
Kakramonov. Sounds like some Dragon Ball Z type stuff.
I.
Kakarot.
You know what?
Kakramonov.
I felt like I was gonna go in the auspices of Joe Rogan. Did you see that shit? The last night. It's
Nah.
I think it was Umar Nurmagomedov, right? And Joe Rogan is just like,
Yeah. Oh yeah, I heard
no,
about that.
uh, Nurmagomedov. I see why. So that's what I felt like right there. But Trevin Jones has a win over that gentleman. But also a loss over against that gentleman finished via guillotine choke, but a win over Mario Bautista, where he KOs Bautista, right? And then he's actually fought in deep over there in Japan, where he beats Takafumi Atsuka via rear naked choke. And
Yeah.
deep, for those who don't know, that is the place where Victor El Mongosa Henry out of UWF USA was a bantamweight champion there, beating the number one seeded Japanese fighter in the bantamweight division for the time. So a shout out to Deep, amazing organization there. But in the words of Voodoo Maximus, you can't match perfection, and Javid
Hard.
has got that in spades, 11-0. So I feel he's gonna steamroll Trevin Jones. I want to
Not
say KO.
not only is he a KO artist, as he has acquired some KOs in his career. He's also uh, a skilled grappler, as he has heel hooks, guillotine chokes, rear naked chokes. From the looks of his record, Darce chokes. He's a complete fighter. He will take the path of least resistance, and this is what brings him W's. Now, Trevin Jones, I remember him. He's got the power to put anybody's lights out, but at the same time, you cannot overlook such skill, you know, especially from an Afghani. You know, the Afghanis, man, the Russians tried for many years and they lost. The Americans tried 15 years or so and they lost. They lost. The Afghanis don't give up. And Javid, I believe he's going to continue in the way of the Afghani, and he will become 12-0.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, but my boy will be right back in 2-2. So in the next card, we see JJ Aldrich,
Yeah.
Julian Robertson, Jillian Robertson. What tell you about this next fight, Julian Robertson?
This one actually has all the potential to be my fight of the night, right here. Jillian Savage Robertson. Yes, she's been accused of might be ducking fights. That
Mhm,
might have been said a time or
mhm,
two, what have you.
mhm,
But
mhm.
when she shows up, she can fight. She can
Yep.
fight, and that's what her 16 fight experience is speaking of, right? But
And can I
Jay,
call a timeout? Can I call
good.
a timeout, sir? Hey, man, I don't see nothing wrong with picking your fights.
Okay.
I do not see anything wrong picking your fights. You fight huge, difficult fights when the money's right and the time is right. Be
TGIF.
strategic. Be strategic with your career. You only got one brain. Be strategic. Why fight a difficult fight for pennies of the dollar when you can wait and do that later? Build some experience and then fight those fights when the money is much more worth it, and you're better equipped to protect yourself from damage. So I don't see anything wrong with it. Just for the record.
Okay, no, 100%. But the fucking brain cells and shit like that. One of the
Right?
fucking fight cards that we have is headlined by Diego Sanchez in 2022.
Right? Somebody's going to sleep.
I, I
Somebody
feel like
might
it's
not
gonna be
wake
him.
up.
I feel like it's gonna be him. He's talking about he comes from the fucking hills and mountaintops of fucking New Mexico, coming down to the fucking beaches of fucking Florida. I don't know what the fuck that guy is. And Jesus Christ, he doesn't even have Josh Rabia with him. I'm just shit is weird. Shit is weird, is what
Mm.
I'm saying. So
It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting which Diego Sanchez shows up. Is it gonna be that? Actually,
I
I
know
don't.
exactly which
We will
one.
see.
It's the fucking shell of his former self. It's exactly uh, the BJ Penn, but not prime BJ Penn. No, the one that gets fucking KO'd by a fucking fat guy in flip flops in Hawaii. That's that equivalent is what is waiting for Diego Sanchez. This is actually a fight where I'm at. It hasn't been since fucking Tony Ferguson and Kevin Lee. Have I picked
Mm.
Kevin Lee? And the only reason why I fucking chose fucking Kevin Lee in that fight is he was like the Motown phenom, and me and Rolly Robles of FX Training Center in Pasadena, we shot a fucking
Right.
promo or whatever,
Right.
and he picked fucking Ferguson, and I was like Motown phenom because he likes
Right.
Motown and he might like the Undertaker, and that's what I got. So I haven't picked Kevin Lee since then. This is one where I'm like I'm not saying Diego Sanchez in 2022 is a tin can, but if I saw a fucking tin can, fucking, a video of it getting kicked around Miami, I'd be like, Diego Sanchez.
Yeah, there's a good chance he's gonna get smacked around, tossed
Good
around.
chance. The fuck yes.
Yeah,
He's ain't gonna be much of him. So sorry, Diego Sanchez. You're a
unfortunately.
legend. I've got a fucking, action figure of you, but you ain't no action. But you're kind of a figure nowadays.
Mm.
So there's that. It's a cautionary tale for anyone who fights in their early 20s. Like, hey, even your twilight years. Hey, when it's done, it's done. But I
Mm.
feel like two females that aren't going to be done is JJ Aldridge and Julian Robertson. But I'm going with
Hmm.
JJ Aldridge because guess what? She fucking beat brown belt, former LFA champion Vanessa Littlemonts Demopoulos, along with
Yep.
Courtney Casey. Right? Yes,
Yep.
she lost to Sabina Mazo, but
Yep.
that's it's not bad. And lost to Macy
Hmm.
Barber. Um,
Hmm.
but that's not a bad loss. But
Hmm.
beat Dynamite Danielle Taylor, who just fought in Invicta. Beat Poliana Viana, right? So I think this one is going to be a war. I
Hmm.
really do between Savage Robertson and but I think JJ Aldrich takes the win.
Yeah. So early on in JJ's career, she fell victim to submissions. One to the infamous Tatiana Suarez, rear naked choke, and Rosa Acevedo, knees and punches by knockout. Also Jamie Mole or whatever it is, rear naked choke. So in the past, she's been a victim to it, and I guarantee you, Jillian Robertson is going to attempt to secure some kind of submission. Right? She's a smart fighter, and she's gonna go for what she knows. If Vanessa Demopoulos couldn't finish it, or snatch a submission, I believe Jillian also will have a hard time securing a submission. It seems JJ Aldridge has put it together and is performing at an acceptable rate now. Takedown defense is excellent, and it's going to be a formidable match. I wouldn't be surprised if JJ finishes her in the third round. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's all we got to say about that. And Takia says, "Yep, that's what I'm talking about." Hell
Hmm.
yes, hell yes.
Indeed,
Um,
indeed.
Now we have the one semi the Jedi, It still doesn't make sense to me. But Matthew Schmelzberger, who is
Mhm.
9-3, right, coming off
Mhm.
of a win over Martin Sano, where he KO Sano right cross. That's all she wrote. 15 seconds is all he needed to get it done, but
Mhm.
he lost a unanimous decision to Chaos Williams, right? Beat
Mhm.
Jason Witt, beat Carton Minus. Actually,
Mhm.
KO's Jason Witt a second longer than his KO of Martin Sano, which is, I
Mhm.
mean, 30 seconds or 31 seconds for two fights. That's not bad, right? Um, yeah. So I mean, those are the notable wins that Semi the Jedi has. Now he's going up against a perfect 9-0 AJ Fletcher. Now AJ the Ghost Fletcher, uh, basically hit the flying knee to Leonardo Damini,
Mhm.
Damiani. I'm sorry, Damiani, right? Damiani gets hit first round, flying knee KO, right? But
Yeah.
he's got submissions in his arsenal. He's got head and arm chokes in his arsenal, right? Rear naked choke in his arsenal. This is what I like to refer to you as when you preach the auspice and the ideology of a complete fighter. And AJ
Mhm.
Fletcher isn't in free flow, but he's
Mhm.
getting there. He's getting there.
Mhm.
He has all the tools and the record to make sure that a victory is within his reach. So I am
Right.
actually going to go not with uh, Matthew Schmelzberger, who I've been a fan of, especially during this kind of COVID era of UFC fights almost every Saturday, right?
Yeah.
But I will actually go against one of the guys that I favorite, and I'm going to go with AJ Fletcher,
Yeah.
second
Yeah.
round KO.
Yeah. So this fella here, uh, Semi the Jedi, we can call him a complete fighter as well, but he's heavier on the grappling aspect of things. He does have knockout power. He could knock someone out. I mean, most folks can knock someone out. But the thing about AJ Fletcher is he's explosive. He's explosive. The only thing that I fear is his cardio. I'm not sure. Smellsberg is going to bring it to him. He's going to put his weight on him. He's going to put his height on him. At how do you say, at 6'1", you know, he's going to really try and wear him down. He's going to put it, he's going to make AJ carry him because AJ, being an explosive fella, he's 5'10", you know, so reach advantage and all that goes to Smellsberger. But this fella AJ here, he's a teammate of Dustin Poirier. So I'm getting, Lafayette, Louisiana, and all that. If he's working with a Dustin Poirier, he's seen decent hands. I don't know about kicks, but he's seen decent hands. And with decent hands, you can maintain distance. You can do a lot of things. If he has a flying knee in his arsenal and he knows how to submit, then he knows how to defend against them. So it's going to be a close fight, but I see a split decision victory for the undefeated fighter AJ Fletcher.
I like it. I like it. But this one is starting off the main card, but it's a lot of things, right? It's a battle of the Brazilians, right?
Yeah,
It's but it's also one of the most tenured fighters that there is in Bruno Silva at
yeah.
22-6. That's 28 professional fights against a 4-1 Alex Piera, right? Now Piera
Mm-hmm.
Potan is
Watan.
a former Glory kickboxing champion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, there's
Yeah.
that's a unanimous decision win over Simon Marcus.
Mm-hmm.
That stands out. Barim Rama, right? He three knockdown. Barim Rama at the Glory in Copenhagen, Denmark, and also has a
Mm-hmm.
win over, this is somebody that you have basically selling the praises of. even before he fought his first fight in the octagon. But
Hmm.
Alex Pereira has a KO victory over one Israel Adesanya.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, that being in kickboxing, but even still, that is pretty notable, right?
Yep.
So, on the other hand, we have, again, a really tough and tenured Bruno Silva. Bruno has been in there with the Beverly Hills Ninja, Jordan White, Andrew Sanchez, Wellington Thurman, right? All of those wins, KO, right? Artem
Hmm.
Frolov at M1 Challenge, KO. Alexander
Hmm.
Shlemenko, right? Former Bellator champion. Yeah, that Alexander Shlemenko, right?
Hmm.
Fucking first round KO. Grenady Kovalev, right? Has the name of one of the greatest, the first name of one of the greatest fighters ever in Triple G, Grenady, right? Um, but KO's Grenady in the first round. Um, so this gentleman, even though he's long in the tooth, right? But he's a tenured vet. All of these wins,
Hmm.
right? 28 fights. He's only 32 years of age, which is fucking crazy because the amount of damage that I would think that would be in him or on his body rather in that many amount of fights, holy shit. But this one also fight of the night. This could be it. But I'm actually gonna
Yeah.
go with Pieta. He
Mm.
just you sang his praises for so long. I believe in the gospel. I believe in the sermon that good voodoo Maximus was preaching to us all. He was
Hmm.
ministering to us all. So with that all being said, I'm going with Pieta.
Hey, when you hear the term "kill or be killed," Alex Pereira stands out. He stands tall. It is what it is. With he's from the Amazon. What you see is what you get. The man was born and bred to be a human fighting machine. He is like your pit bull that you see fighting in those dog fights. He is the human equivalent of that. He has no remorse because it's strictly business. I mean, once you're knocked out cold, then he'll feel something for you. I mean, he is still human, but when it's in there, man, Poatan, hands on stone, he's gonna knock your block off. It is what it is. If it's by his shin, his feet, his elbow, his fist, whatever it is, he's gonna take you out. That's what he does. He can destroy. He's taking missile. No matter where you go, he will follow. He gets better and better and better as the rounds go by. This is what he does. He lives and breathes combat, you know. And his opponent, 22 fights. I mean, 22 wins. Bruno Silva, 6 losses. Bruno Silva as well is a killing machine. Most of his fights are knockouts. He doesn't shoot the double. This is the fight of the night between these two right here. People understand this opening card. Do not miss it. First of all, I don't understand why this fight, excuse me, is so low. Someone else should be opening up this card. This is a co-main event level card with Alex Pereira on it. They should be and Bruno. They should be co-main event. But it's also a good way to open up a card. So give them fireworks. Raise the bar immediately and let the chips fall where they may. Alex Pereira, devastating death knockout, death blow.
I like it. I like it. And shout out to the good brother Shade Husky, who could
What's
be
up,
found
Husky?
week to week, multiple times a week on the Roundtable Pro Wrestling podcast on
Let's go.
bodyslam.net, where this is being simulcast to as well. And also, if you want more Shade, go ahead and check out his Twitch streams. It's in his social media. Go ahead and check him out. I'm just saying, that's a good brother. Too sweetly, bro.
Too
Now,
sweet.
too sweet. Yeah. Uh, but speaking of too sweet, holy shit, this one is a good one. Like this whole main card, fight of the night, fight of the night, fight of the night, right? But we have in this particular instance Drew Dober, 23-11. Drew Dober, I mean, his Tapology picture is from old school Strike Force, right? This guy has been here forever, but he's only 33, a tenured young vet training out of the
Mm,
Elevation Fight team in Colorado. But
mm-hmm,
unfortunately, he's coming off of a 2-fight losing streak, that being Brad Riddell. He lost a unanimous
mm-hmm,
decision. And none other than Islam Makhachev, where he gets arm triangled from the half guard on the undercard of Israel Adesanya, Jan Blachowicz, right?
mm-hmm,
But has a win over a KO win over Alex the Great Hernandez, Nasrat Hopsquarst, and Polo Reyes, right? All of those
mm-hmm,
KOs. Um,
mm-hmm.
so obviously lost to Benil Dariush, but it's Benil fucking Dariush. But Frank Camacho, unanimous decision. John Tuck, unanimous decision.
Mm-hmm.
KO's Josh Berkman. Yeah, the guy that looks
Mm-hmm.
like Jesus or at least an
Mm-hmm.
apostle. Holy fuck, man.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, so, but on the other hand, we have Terrence T Rex McKinney. And you know that name because he was a guy who just beat Faraz Zayam literally in February. So it's a quick
Yep.
turnaround, quick camp. He's there, right? KO's Matt Steamroller Fivola. But in the case of MMA on points video of like the craziest protege, I forgot who Matt Frivola is a protege of. But they basically he was on a top 10 list of people who have trained with world class athletes but have fallen short. I don't think that is. I mean, there's still something to be said on Frivola, but a win is a win, and that again, T Rex
Yep.
has that win over Matt Frivola. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Also, a friend of the According to Wood show, and Pride of Puerto Rico, Michael Izari Ortiz, where he KOs him in the very first round of LFA 109, which that was the headline, right? That was the main event of that particular LFA, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's just KO, 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 KO. He's got a rear naked choke against Charon Spain and Bobby McIntyre. Uh, Jesus, I mean, back to back wins, back to back finishes, back to back same finishes, same choke in the first round in 2 fucking fights. Jesus Louises. That's why he's T Rex, and that's why I'm going with him over Drew Dober. Nothing against Drew Dober. Again, tenured young vet, 23-11. That's fucking impressive as shit. But what Terrence McKinney has done in his tenure in the UFC and prior lead me to believe he's going to come away with a spectacular victory. And I think that might come by way of a scintillating knockout. But what say
Mm-hmm.
you?
Yeah. What is the secret to Drew Dober's longevity? Grappling, grappling. Many of his wins have been by grappling or unanimous decision or some sort of decision. He controls his opponent by dragging them into deep water and forcing them to swim, especially when he knows they can't swim. So it's worked for him 23 times, hasn't worked 11 times. He's been there for a long time. He's number 18 in the lightweight division. Terrence, on the other hand, is an excellent wrestler himself. So wrestling defense is going to be on point. Drew Dober trying to take him down, he's going to have an answer. Now, Terrence just fought some 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago at the most. He's got to cut back down to 155. How much weight will he be cutting? This is going to matter. Drew Dober hasn't fought anyone. You know, he's been training for just this one fight. Terrence McKinney is taking this fight on short notice because Drew Dober's opponent fell off, and Ricky Glenn was supposed to be his opponent, but Ricky Glenn, whatever his situation is, he's gone. Terrence steps in on short notice, and here we are. What's that weight cut going to be like? Is he light? Because these things are going to be the deciding factor if Terrence wins or not. Drew Dober's going to bring the fight to him. He's going to push his heart rate. Depending on how much weight he's lost, we'll see if Terrence can hang in there for 15 minutes. We do know Terrence has very good wrestling. He's got excellent striking as well. Um, I think this is a very good gamble. If he loses, he lost to a veteran, Drew Dober. He's new in the game, Terrence McKinney, T Rex. He's new in the game, so it won't look that bad on his record because he lost to Drew Dober. But if he beats Drew Dober, he moves up to 18 from 34. So it's a win-win situation for the kid. And three, he gets paid a nice stipend for taking his fight on short notice. And he's a marketable kid. So there you go. I'm going with Terrence McKinney as well. Split decision.
Yeah, the world is his oyster, I believe, is T
Yep.
Rex. So
Yep.
can't wait to see. I don't want to like factor him into title fights already or whatever, but let
Mhm.
this
Not
this
yet. Not
yeah,
yet.
let's be a slow burn. But I think we're gonna have fun as viewers, but definitely not his opponents. We're gonna have fun with this run that T Rex is going to be on, which continues right into Saturday night. But speaking of things to get run into. Holy shit. 9-4 Carl Robertson, baby cake, Carl Robertson,
hmm
is running into a 9-5 Khalil Roundtree. And you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like they've got very similar records, just one has one more fight than the other, right? But
hmm
Baby K, it's not. It hasn't been bad, right? Because he beat Wellington Turman back in 2019 on UFC on ESPN Plus 13, right? Via unanimous decision. Roman Kopilov, again, a fan of Romans, we are here at Voodoo in the Woods, but beats Roman
hmm
Kopilov via rear naked choke, but then runs into the Italian Dream Marvin Vittori, where he gets rear naked choke in the very first round, and then Brendan All in Allen heel hooks him, right? He was supposed to fight Nick Maximov. That didn't materialize, but he's facing
hmm
one Khalil Roundtree. And Khalil, or the Warhorse, has, I mean, he fucking sidekick to the knee of Modestus Bukakis, or as I like to say, Modelo Bukaki, right? But
Send him
you
to
know,
the hospital.
yeah, absolutely, but a unanimous decision lost to Marcin Perchino, and then he got elbowed to hell by Ian Kutalaba. But you remember that fight that he had with your boy Eric Andrews, where Eric Andrews didn't fucking he basically did a Chris Mutino, and Eric Andrews didn't fucking go down, right? But a loss to
Yeah.
Johnny Walker, and who could forget him KOing none other than arguably one of the greatest heavyweight strikers to ever live. That is Gokhan
Yep.
Saki. Holy
hmm
shit, right? And he
hmm
even KO'd on his way to Saki, basically KO'd none other than Daniel Jolly and the Bear Jew, Paul Craig, right? Unfortunately lost to Tyson Pedro, but guess what? Tyson Pedro, unfortunately, I don't know what happened there. Um, shit is no longer in the UFC. So that's what we got to say about that. Obviously, Roundtree is a Ultimate Fighter alumnist, and that's why I'm going with the Warhorse, Khalil Roundtree. Yes, this might be a little bit nepotistic, but Khalil Roundtree grew up in the South Bay area region of Los Angeles, much like I did, if you consider Inglewood's South Bay, or much like Voodoo did. So, with that all being said, this one for me, yes, I believe he can get the job done against Carl Robertson, but also this is a home team deal. So, Khalil Roundtree, the Warhorse, all the way.
Yes, yes, yes. No, no arguments there, my brother. Khalil Roundtree and his opponent Carl Robertson, uh, both familiar with the kickboxing Muay Thai game. It's gonna start standing. Then Carl's gonna realize that okay, this guy hits pretty hard. He kicks pretty hard. He punches pretty hard. Uh, Plan B: start utilizing grappling and all that. Try and get it to the ground. Try and implement grappling so you can seek the path of least resistance. This is where it's gonna go. I believe Roundtree has enough takedown defense to keep this standing. and to keep the punishment going. I will also go with Khalil Roundtree, not only because he's home team, but I believe he can win this one. He's moving on to 10-4.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. But as we move along, I don't want this gentleman to move along just because general premise, and that's just not me being a fan of the All American retracts, where that song. If I get strong, you move along. Ah, no. Anywho, Alex Caceres, man, fucking Bruce Leroy. That motherfucker's been disappointing the last like fucking I don't know 5 times I've seen him fight. Swear to God. Yes, he has unanimous decision wins, but he's that motherfucker that, if you're in a fucking IBJJF tournament or International Brazilian Jiu Jitsu Federation, for those who are not inclined, you're in a fucking position, and rather than go for the kill, they go for the fucking point so they can fight to see another day. That's the motherfucker that Alex Caceres is. Yes, he's so skilled. Yes, he's so talented and what have you. But is anybody fucking on their right mind picking Alex Caceres in a fucking UFC video game and be like, yeah, that's my motherfucker. We're rocking all the way to the UFC title. No
That's
fucking
Black
way.
Bruce Lee right there. That's Black Bruce Lee.
I don't care. Like, I mean, if that's Black Bruce Lee, ooh, no, I'm not even gonna say that. That's too scandalous. Bruce Leroy is a points fighter. He's a point karate, fucking point jujitsu, fucking fighter. Does he want to fucking hurt you? No. You know what? At this stage of the game, because I remember most people were talking about Bruce Leroy fucking 5-10 years ago. When did he enter the UFC? Oh yeah, way back on fucking UFC on Fuel. UFC
Yep.
on Versus.
Yeah.
UFC
Yeah.
on Versus is this motherfucker. You fucking
Yeah.
fought. He was on the Ultimate Fighter season 12. Season 12. It seems like forever ago. But lost to
It
Michael
is
Johnson.
forever ago.
It is forever ago. That's 2010. That's 13 years,
Yeah.
right? And people are
Yeah.
like, fucking. I think I was even at UFC 99 when people were like, oh my God, you guys got to see that shit. Right? You
Mhm.
got to see fucking
Mhm.
Bruce Leroy fight. Right? And he fought, and it was like, yep, it was that. Him and Cole Miller. I remember literally grabbing a beer on my way into the floor. My first UFC at my fucking home arena that I graduated from, and whatever. And we sat there, and we sat there, and we sat there. Just like, is he gonna do something? And he did fucking nothing against Cole Miller. He fucking pointless. That shit, even that shit was 2016. That shit was 6 years ago. If that fight is in kindergarten, that shit is in first grade. And he was boring then. He's been boring since. So fuck. I want none other than the Sadiq Youssef, Super Sadiq from Nigeria.
That's right.
A place that
That's
fucking
right.
breeds champions. One that I'm
That's right.
talking to and talking with and co-hosting a show with. He's got a UFMA championship. And guess what? Sadiq Youssef has probably got some gold in his arsenal, in his trophy case. He is under the great Lloyd Irvin, who gets overlooked in terms of formidable black belts
Mhm.
in all of MMA, but all of jiu-jitsu as well. Motherfuckers who
Mhm.
need to know about Team Lloyd Irvin. Uh, but obviously, Super Sadiq has wins over Andre Tachifili, fucking Gabriel Benitez, Sherman Morales, or Moraes,
Mhm.
I should say. Um,
Mhm.
Mike Davis, Suman Mokhtarian. Uh, just he's sought everywhere. Super Sadiq is because he's super. Victory FC,
Mhm.
CFFC, Titan FC, Brave CF, Dana White's Contender
Mhm.
Series, all fucking notching up wins. All this motherfucker does is win, and I think
Yep.
that's exactly what he's gonna do against
Mhm.
one Alex Bruce Leroy Casares. So Sadiq Youssef, knock this motherfucker out for me one time. Thank you.
Here's the deal, man. Alex Caceres has been in the UFC for quite some time, and he's number 21. Sadiq number 16. That's one. Sadiq is new, but he's beaten someone tangible enough to put him at number 16 in the UFC. So that is to be noted. Second of all, Sadiq is an excellent striker, excellent grappler, complete fighter. Caceres, excellent grappler, excellent striker, but he's not a power puncher. Sadiq is a power puncher. So that's two for Sadiq. Three, Sadiq represents that green, white, green, which I can never ever go against. You know what I'm saying? That green, white, green is the soil, and Sadiq is going in there and he's going to do what he has to do. Caceres is good enough to keep from getting finished. He's been doing this a long time. I do see either a unanimous or a split decision victory for Sadiq.
Yeah, I I agree. I don't care what it happens. I just want a bloodied fucking Caceres so we can show this motherfucker the door. Like, if you want to get that fucking money, again, Eagle FC, sign him up. Like fucking Connor said at the damn Floyd Mayweather fucking press conference, sign me up. Let's fucking do that shit. This, you're not to say you're taking up a spot because UFC, just like AEW's Tony Khan, can sign whoever they damn well they please, right? And shout out to AEW for snatching up William Regal and fucking Jeff Hardy. Jeff
Jeff
Hardy is
Hardy.
now, yeah. So shout out, when your fucking brother's getting his ass kicked, you fucking go to your music and fucking yeah, dad said shit, and then you help your brother later. Shout out to Jeff Hardy. He's one of
That's
my all-time
right.
favorites. I ain't fucking mad at it at all. So yeah, fucking Super Sadiq. Fuck, just bloody the
Yep.
fuck out of him. I don't want to see Alex Caceres in an octagon. I don't want to see him in my video games. Just fucking send his ass to the Shadow Realm, is what Voodoo
Yeah.
Maximus would say. So I'm going to quote the great Voodoo Maximus and send this motherfucker into the Shadow Realm where he fucking belongs. So he can be out my fucking ESPN Plus damn subscription. That's what I'm saying.
and I will be quoting the great and incomparable Yu-Gi-Oh from the cartoons.
Hey, I mean, if it is, I'll be quoting fucking Popeye all the time. So that's what we do. But speaking of quotes, to quote the great Bruce Buffer, we are at the co-main events of the evening. We have former World Series of Fighting Bantamweight champion, the Magic Man, Magic Marlon Moraes, 23
hmm
9 and 1. Arguably one of the most talented bantamweights to ever do it. But
hmm
he has run into some tough luck. Yes, he won against the what many believe is a card carrying member to the Mount Rushmore of UFC featherweight champions in Jose Aldo Jr., right? But a lot of people said, hey, nope, nah, I don't like that. That's why Aldo got the title shot because nobody really
hmm
thought, myself included, um, that 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 Moraes beat Aldo.
hmm
But prior to that, a loss to Henry Cejudo, right? That was the title fight, that had eluded him, for like he was just building wins on wins after being on World Series of Fight and being a champion for them. He tasted what championship gold looked like and what it meant to be a champion, and he was working his way up. To me, in terms of World Series and fight, I mean, the best homegrown talent. Obviously, you had Anthony Rumble Johnson,
hmm
come down after UFC gave him the boot the first time. But
hmm
the two shining examples, right? They're like, fuck, obviously WEC had Uriah Faber and Dominic Cruz. There's a lot of guys, right? To me, the pillars of World Series of Fight and now the PFL, right? That's what the World Series of Fight is now, were none other than Marlon Moraes and Justin Gaethje. And Justin Gaethje is in his own right in title contention. I think he's going to get his title shot uh, pretty soon, pretty damn
hmm
soon, right? But with that all being said, Marlon Moraes is half of that, when they came into the UFC. I was like, fuck yeah, man! I can't believe it. And yes, Magic Marlon Moraes has turned out great performances, right? But he is in theory on a 5-fight losing streak, and you're like, wait, he did beat Aldo. Again, a lot of people didn't think, even Dana White didn't think it. That's why Aldo got
Mm-hmm.
a title shot in place
Mm-hmm.
of Marlon Moraes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's
Yep.
Henry Cejudo. That's a title fight loss to a title champion, a win on the record, but nobody really thought Marlon Moraes won. Gets
Mm-hmm.
wheel kicked by fucking Corey Sanhagen in the second round, KO'd by Rob Font, and Marab the Machine Davalashvili gets KO'd. So he's had his fucking brain cells splattered. And next to the fucking plate is Sang Yadong. And
Your dong
I was
song.
Yadong song. That could be
Mm-hmm.
Yadong song or Song Yadong Dong Dong, right? But I was all like, why also is the 18-5-1 Yadong song or the Kung Fu Monkey in my head all the time? Why is it so pleasing? It feels like I've said his name forever, but I know why. Because you remember this song, Yadong, Yadong. It's a different feeling. You've been wrong. No, it was four tops as fuck. Anywho, but the Kung Fu Panda, I can't believe it. Sorry, China. Um, this is your boy. But obviously, a win over the tough and durable and promising Casey Kenny. Uh, Beat him by a split decision. KO'd Julio Arce, right? Has a win over Marlon Chito Vera. Not many people have those, but Song Yadong does. He
Yep.
lost to the Matrix Kyler Phillips, a draw with Cody Stamen, a win over Alejandro Perez,
Mm-hmm.
beat Vincent Morales. Jesus
Mm-hmm.
Christ, man. Fucking Song Yadong, even without just the fact that he's in there with Marlon Moraes on the skids, he's put up some great performances, great victories. He's got names in his win
Mm-hmm.
column. I'm going with the Kung Fu Panda, Song Yadong for the win.
Mm-hmm.
Probably second round KO.
I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it because Marlon Moraes still remains the most dangerous individual in that weight class, the bantamweight, the most dangerous.
Yeah.
He's got jujitsu. He's got every weapon in the book. He's got it. He's a former champion, as dangerous as they come. The Dong Song has something that Marlon Moraes doesn't have, and that's an excellent cardio. He can fight for 25 minutes if he has to. He's got a chin. He keeps his hands up. He's a very good boxer. The boxing of Yadong Song is going to be the key to success. Yadong Song doesn't really kick. Not that he can't kick, he doesn't really kick. You will see the pressure. You will see the hands. Marlon Moraes, if he cannot get that knockout in the first round, he will be going out in the second round, either by submission. No, no, actually, Yadong Song doesn't submit anyone. TKO. TKO victory, Yadong Song. Marlon Moraes is going out. And then he's going out completely out of the UFC. It's been great, Marlon. Thank you for all you've done. But it's time to go to Bellator, ONE FC, PFL, and wrap
Eagle
up your
FC.
career, brother.
Yeah,
Eagle FC?
Eagle. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's the thing. Like I said, when obviously, when Strikeforce went down and got acquired by the UFC, you're like, oh shit. You thought about the dream matches, the Jake Shields, the fucking, God, what's his fucking name? Robbie Lawler coming back. Like
Hmm. Hmm.
you think about these dream matchups that you probably wouldn't have got otherwise, right? And Marlon Moraes, obviously, World Series of Fight, now PFL didn't get acquired. I
Hmm.
love the PFL. I love the fucking new, their fucking fight kits. They're
Hmm.
amazing. I wish they fucking sold it. Whatever.
Hmm.
But Marlon Moraes again is one of the reasons why I wanted NBC fucking Sports Network so I can watch
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
World Series of Fighting, and now PFL. Some of the greatest commentators. in the game, some of the greatest
Mhm.
fights, greatest
Mhm.
champions, what have you. And Marlon Moraes is
Mhm.
definitely in that legacy. One of the
Mhm.
greatest bantamweight champions in history.
Yep, I
One of
agree.
the greatest Brazilian, in a fucking country that has, in many instances, been the birth of MMA, whether that be
Mhm.
Japan or Brazil. But you go Valetudo, shoot box, lute
Mhm.
livre, right?
Mhm.
And then obviously Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. Marlon
Mhm.
Moraes is a master amongst masters. So if
Mhm.
this is the end of the road, which I kind of feel like it is in the UFC,
Mhm.
what a
Mhm.
fucking career it has
Yeah.
been. And I mean, get that
Mhm.
fucking money, dude. If you can
Yeah.
go to PFL and enter yourself in that tournament and win $1
Mhm.
million, awesome. But guess what? Anthony Showtime Pettis thought he could do the same thing. Didn't work for him. Who else did? Oh, fucking Jesus Christ. There was somebody else that did it. It was Showtime Pettis. Oh, Rory McDonald. Rory
Yeah, that's
McDonald
right.
had
He went
yeah,
first. He was the first main guy to go.
and that's it.
Hey, but unfortunately for Marais, he is a guy that's too big for that division.
Yeah, he is.
Size
And he's
wise,
all
he's too big, but he's a little short guy, unfortunately. So it's hard for him to move up to 145. His frame is good for 145, but unfortunately, he lacks the height, and which is why he's stuck, sucking himself dry to make 135. And this is why he has no cardio.
that makes sense. That makes sense. But have you heard of the band Live?
No,
Okay. They had a bunch of songs in the '90s, like "When the Dolphins Cry" and whatever. But if you didn't know who Live was, I'm going to go ahead and pull them up because Marlon
sure.
Moraes fucking
He
looks
looks like
like
him.
the lead singer of Live in Ed Kowalczyk.
A
Tell me that isn't Marlon Moraes right there. Is that not?
little taller.
That's fucking Marlon Moraes. Dude, if I get a concert, whatever, they're the same fucking height. So whenever the hell Marlon Rice fights, I'm all like, "With the Dolphins, guy," or lightning crashes, oh mother dies. That's lightning crashes the career of Marlon Moraes. There you go.
Oh,
Oh, sorry, bud.
oh,
Uh, but we are at the main events of the evening. We have
that's right.
22-9 Magomed Ankalaev. I'm sorry, 16-1 Magomed Ankalaev, right? Magomed only defeated once. And when was that victory? Oh, yeah, that was to the Bear Drew, Paul Craig at UFC Fight Night 127 via
Mhm,
triangle choke. But prior to
mhm,
that,
mhm,
Celso Ricardo da Silva gets KO'd by Ankalaev. Ragnar Prado
mhm,
KO'd, right? Maxim Grishin, also a
mhm,
top level fighter who's made his home in the UFC now, right? Fucking starched him in the fourth round
mhm,
at Akhmat Fight Show 30, right? Coming into the UFC at UFC Fight Night 127. Again, that loss to Paul Craig, but rebounds by beating Marcin Martino, first round head kick, right? Then Klitzen Abreu, unanimous decision win. Dalsha, who we picked to win the last fucking, his fight on the same night. Well, guess what? He
yeah,
fucking KOs Dalsha with a fucking front kick, third round, 29 seconds. Ian Kuntalaba,
mhm,
first round, 38 seconds, right? Then rematches with Kuntalaba, right? KOs him 419 in the first round. Nikita Krylov, unanimous decision win. Former UFC light heavyweight title contender Volkan Ozdemir. He beats him by unanimous decision. And he has
yeah,
another light heavyweight title contender on his heels, and that is one Moreta Thiago Santos. Obviously,
mhm,
a lot different, right? Volkan Ozdemir
yep,
had Daniel Cormier and in his title shot, a title opportunity, as Vince McMahon would say, it was against the only person who could beat himself. No other man can beat him, but he could beat himself. One John Bones Jones, who he lost by
Yeah.
split decision, but he fucked all of his shit up. All of his legs were all fucked up to the point where he didn't fight for another year, but he
Hmm.
loses to the eventual and also Brazilian, his countryman, the now UFC light heavyweight champion in Clover Teixeira, but he
Yep.
loses to Cesaro via rear naked choke, unanimous
Mhm.
decision loss over Alexander Rankick, and a
Mhm.
unanimous decision win over Johnny Walker was his
Mhm.
last time in the octagon. But again, Johnny Walker, whoa, I mean that we got sold a bill of goods by none other than Johnny Walker, right? And
Mhm.
maybe his coaching staff at the new SBG Straight Blast Gym in Ireland. But in any event, all of those reasons are why I'm going to pick Magomed Ankalaev, which I
Yes.
believe if I think Ankalaev might have one more win and he goes up against fucking Teixeira. But what say you?
It could be this particular win. If he beats Santos decisively, he will be the next one in line. Why not? Because the man has looked impressive for quite some time now. Magomed, I'm a big fan of his. The patience, and the patience, the way he stalks his prey, the way he dismantles the opponent and smashes him. What he did to Ian Kutelaba back to back was a beautiful thing. Docha's front kick to the face, amazing. He's a complete fighter. He did lose to Paul Craig. Paul Craig is an animal, though. Paul Craig is the one that broke the arm of Jamal Hill, you know?
Huh?
So that's a formidable opponent. Thiago, on the other hand, is a power hitter. Mareta. I think that's like hammer or something like that
Yeah,
in Portuguese.
yeah.
He the last person he beat was Johnny Walker, but the three after that were excellent boxers or excellent dynamic strikers. He's got an issue with those people. Magomed is an excellent boxer. He's going to have excellent footwork. When Santos comes in with his power stuff, he's either going to block him and counterattack, or he's just going to get out of the way. This one's gonna. I have a feeling this one's gonna go 25 minutes. It's gonna be a good fight. It's gonna be a good kickboxing match. Um, Santos is going to lose, of course. Ever since his knee injury, he hasn't been the same. I believe he's going to be a father, which is going to make it worse. He's going to have to give away a whole lot of love, which has got to come from somewhere, and he's going to lose. Unfortunately, he's going to lose. Thiago Santos falls, and Magomed Ankalaev rises. I mean, he's already higher in the rankings anyway, so he's gonna hold his ranking, I guess.
Wow, I feel like you're like a little Stillwell angel, of our league of our own. The all female baseball team, and the one lady was a mother, and she had the fucking annoying
Yeah,
ass
yeah,
kid.
yeah,
You're gonna lose. You're gonna lose.
yeah.
Now, I mean, we hate to say it, but yeah, unfortunately, I think the hammer. And if
Unfortunately,
you didn't even understand it in Portuguese, all you have to see is that big ass ugly fucking thing on his chest to know he's the hammer. It's like Brock
that's
Lesnar.
right.
What's about the big fucking swole guys with ugly shit on their chest? Um, I have no idea, but what's his face? The other fucking big ass Brazilian. I don't do shit to your chest. Don't tattoo your shit. But anyway,
Yeah.
Uncle Leia for the win. I don't care how it
Yep.
happens. I just feel like it's going to happen. Shout out to Thiago Santos, who it seems to be very very happy in his life. Obviously, you you said that he's expecting a child. He is with a UFC fighter. I forgot. Thiago. Ooh, who's he with? You remember this, right? Like
Yeah,
he's
yeah, yeah. What's her name? The blonde lady.
yeah. It's not one of the Shevchenko.
Kuniskaya. Kuniskaya.
Yeah, Yana
Kuniskaya.
Kunskaya. Right.
Mhm. Mhm.
So they're you know they're doing great. I'm happy
Mhm.
for that. I'm happy for the both
Mhm.
of them. Um, just uh, again, I hate that he's gonna have to go into fatherhood with an L like this, but Ankalaev, that is a tough customer. I think it's even tougher than John Jones, in
Mm.
at this at because also with Santos's head after the John Jones loss, it's a different Thiago Santos. Thiago Santos was
Mhm.
talking all that fucking head until he got to fucking John Jones or whatever. Now he doesn't have that confidence. He doesn't have that confidence, and he's going up against a fucking mauler. And I'm not talking about
Mhm.
Alexander Gustafsson. I'm talking about Magomed Ankalaev.
Mhm.
So
He'll maul you with his striking.
yeah, and with all that's going on in the world, right? I almost feel like this Russian Federation and whatever, like fuck, you guys might be able to fucking beat us in the war and shut down our McDonald's and fucking Coca Cola. But you're MMA, cool. We're gonna send everybody from the fucking Russian Federation. Habib, you start Eagle FC. You three go to fucking PFL, win $1 million. You go to the UFC. And all of y'all rock the fucking evil ass Abe Lincoln fucking haircut and fucking goatee and shit like that. That's cool. I just feel like there's this like again a sleeper cell. All of these like in Russian fighters or whatever, they're gonna jump out. I don't know. It was fucking. I don't want to put on a tinfoil hat, but I'm just saying, Uncle Lev for the win. Doesn't matter how it happens. It's just going to happen. It's a foregone
Straight up.
conclusion. I almost feel like we're
Straight up.
gonna see a light heavyweight version of Habib Nurmagomedov versus God, what's his fucking name? He just fought. Edson Barbosa.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
The thing about this Russian is he doesn't really care for the takedown.
no,
He's
he
very
doesn't.
confident in his hands and feet. This
Yeah,
is going to be a very good main event.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, if they both stand in the pocket, these two big fucking light heavyweights, will they be
Woo!
closing in on fucking heavyweight by the time the fight comes? Holy fucking shit! You're in for
Another thing about this Russian is he knows he knows his limitations.
yeah,
He knows the danger that he is in. He would not like be one of those guys to trade in a pocket like Vanderlei Silva. He's gonna stick and move. He's a wise fighter, which is why I'm picking him. He's very intelligent.
yeah, absolutely. And not to say that any of the other Russians or Russian federations aren't intelligent. They definitely are. But I think we know what we do. Maximus is saying it's a maximum carnage, maximum. I don't know. Red Death. Red Death is what I'm going with. Uh,
Let's go.
yeah, man. But speaking of going, Takia Miles says night, and I think we're gonna heed to that night. You guys have a great fucking weekend. If you want MMA,
Oh yeah.
there is a lot of fucking MMA for you. You've got Eagle FC that's going to be in a couple hours. We also have obviously the PFL Challenger Series
Mhm.
on
Mhm.
Fubo. We have if
Mhm.
you're a local, right? Oh, you have LFA, right? If you're local, Sparsa MMA at the Commerce Casino. There's a
Mhm.
lot, and then obviously this UFC Fight Night card, which is stacked. Holy shit, it's stacked. There's a lot of MMA, a lot of pro wrestling. So fucking go
Yep.
ahead and find you some. But also just have a great fucking week, you beautiful, beautiful people. And Voodoo, where can they find you in all of your beauty on the socials?
YouTube, Instagram, Facebook page, Twitter, Snapchat, Voodoo Maximus.
Damn right. And somebody with one last comment for the Shade Husky, the good brother. Great show, guys. Great show. Thank you. And that's a lot coming from you because you are one of the greatest streamers and YouTubers there are. You can mark my words on it. But you can find me, according to Woods, across all the social media lands, the Principal Podcast on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch,
Yeah.
as well as Twitter. Right. Also on the After 83 Weeks podcast with Christy Olson, George Hermosa, the great Steve Kaufman, and WWE Hall of Famer Eric Bischoff. Fuck yes, there's a lot of places where you can find me, and then there's a lot of places where you can see me disseminate a lot of dumb shit, from the best and the worst of humanity, and that's where you can find me. According to Woods, is where it's at.
Yeah.
I acknowledge Alan Woods. I acknowledge you, Shane Husky. I acknowledge the great Voodoo Maximus. I acknowledge the rest of the
Yeah.
BodySlam.net family, headed up by Cassidy Haynes, who's been in the news. Shout out to you, Cassidy. And we will see you later with more Voodoo in the Woods. Stay great, you guys, because you guys are fucking great.